Okay. Right now, I'm asking Creator to bless our time together and that it benefit all sentient beings everywhere. And I pray as we come together that we glean something from this time together, something we can take with us, something that will benefit us and help us on our path. So, in preparation for our time together, I have already lit candle for unity and peace. And well, welcome to Wednesday evening prayer with the Franclara Abbey. I'm Nancy, and I'm so glad that you could be with us this evening. I have lit the candle for unity and peace, and I have prayed that all humans come together in unity and peace, and that is start with our own hearts, that inside of us we find unity and we find peace, and then we can share it, and we can spread it out into our families, our friends, our communities, our nations, and the world. This evening, we will be continuing with Jamie Sams, who's a Seneca medicine woman, and her teachings of the medicine wheel. And we'll be doing the West direction, the direction of introspection, and of death and rebirth. And so before we start that, I'm going to invite the directions in with the song, Thank You, Mother. Thank you, Mother, for the East illumination. Thank you, Mother, for the East illumination. Thank you, Mother, for the East illumination. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the South innocence and trust. Thank you, Mother, for the South innocence and trust. Thank you, Mother, for South innocence and trust. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the West imperfection. Thank you, Mother, West imperfection. Thank you, Mother, for the West imperfection. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the North ancient wisdom. Thank you, Mother, for the North ancient wisdom. Thank you, Mother, for the North ancient wisdom. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the above protection. Thank you, Mother, for the above protection. Thank you, Mother, for the above protection. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the blow supporting. Thank you, Mother, for the blow supporting. Thank you, Mother, for the blow supporting. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for the center of all possibilities. Thank you, Mother, for the center possibility. Thank you, Mother, for the center possibility. Thank you, Mother, for your love. Thank you, Mother, for your love. I just wanted to do a little reminder that this candle reminds us This candle for unity and peace reminds us of that internal flame that is within each of our beings, that is within every single thing that is created in the universe. Has that flame within it, that life force, that flame. So on this path of the West, the third path of initiation of human transformation, I'm going to be addressing challenges that we're going to be meeting on this path. And one of the challenges is we're going to need to face all of our fears. And we're going to have to look at our behaviors. And where are they coming from? Our ego? Or do we have a sense of self-importance? Another one we have to start really examining is our addictions. Also our old traumas, emotional, psychological patterns, childhood issues, controlling behaviors, dysfunctional relationships. All of these need to be addressed on the third path of initiation. This is a path of purification. And on this path, we embrace the ability to cleanse all that keeps us from healing and be able to refill ourselves with new purpose, with feelings and thoughts that support our intent to change. We start to begin to reclaim fragments of ourselves that were shattered by trauma, abuse, and addictive behaviors, emotional pain, physical illness. We have to embrace all of ourselves, our positive and negative, those we like and those we don't. Another challenge on this path is our false sense of self, and that needs to drop. And it begins to drop on this path as we start addressing these issues. We start creating ways to break our chains of illusions and delusions. And one of the most difficult challenges is confronting our fears of abandonment. And that one I really, truly know, because that one I face frequently, regularly, it comes up. We can get stuck while we're on this path, and we start seeing that in giving to others. Sometimes we give until we have no life force left. And that is a trap, and we need to face it. One of the mainstays on our path is learning to listen, not only to others, but to our own words. And we count them sacred, our words. And we start being accountable for what we say. Another challenge is reviewing our sensitivities, which stems from our judgments. And these maybe have adapted from our groups or the media or advertising. But we have to start looking at these. And we start learning lessons about boundaries, our own and others' boundaries. And we start feeling these boundaries, and we begin honoring them. Now, those are the main challenges that we face when we're on this path, this third path of illumination, initiation. And on this path, there's some enlightenment traps. And she says at the midpoint, we discover we have all the answers that is right for our spiritual growth within us. Those answers are within us. We may become insecure, unsure, or we may start feeling superior. This is an enlightenment trap. And these appear more often on this third path than on the first path or the second path. Another one is we may even deny that we have any inappropriate behaviors. We must learn that we have not arrived, that we still have a shadow side, and that our ego is still alive and well. And the last enlightenment trap that she mentions is, and this one's very, very seductive. And this can appear in this way: the need to compete with others of similar knowledge. Instead of encouraging and supporting each other, we start competing. We want to get ahead of, we want to be more spiritually advanced than them. But on the bright side, on the third path of initiation, there are some real positives and blessings. And the first one that she talks about is that it's paramount to learn to laugh at ourselves. That's how we get over our self-importance. We're also taught about maintaining our individuality and our personal integrity in the face of our modern technology and the world's seduction. This path yields a harvest of blessings that allow every person to use their inner knowing and their personal power. We learn not to judge each other's shortcomings. Instead, to see them as our teachers. We learn to value of looking for something to admire in ourselves and in others. On this path, we start feeling gratitude and communion with our Creator. As we begin purifying ourselves from thoughts and emotions, behaviors and attitudes, we reach this communion more with all that is. And we are given opportunities to see how far we have come in our personal sense of well-being and in using our personal authority effectively, and or the success we have attained. Also, our view of reality is restructured, and we experience dramatic changes in how we respond to different situations. Before I go on, I would like to read what she has to say here on the third veil, because each of these human transformations, each of these paths, there's also a veil. And the third veil, she talks about, and she says, we cannot lift the third veil if we have become addicted to sexual pleasure or other forms of physical sensations. Nor can this veil be lifted if we do not use spiritual disciplines. We're going to remain trapped. The veil will continue to be down. We'll be in our illusions and delusions. We won't start seeing clearly. And another thing I wanted to read you is where she talks about she says, I will say once again that each of the 7 paths of initiation dovetails into others. It is possible to be completing lessons on the third path and the second path at the same time that we're beginning some on the fourth path. How each person experiences these initiations is as individual as the human being. Remember that these paths are not linear. Now it is time to go into the silence. So start getting ourselves prepared. Okay. Now to start out our prayer time today, I'm going to start with the prayer that Jamie Sams has at the beginning of this first chapter on the third path, and it's called The Awakening. Sacred mystery, open my eyes so that I can see. Depart my judgments, play in me. Accept my grateful words of praise for the love of life that's set ablaze. I recall my spirit to the sacred fire where burns my heart's purest desire. I banish all jealousy so I may replace envy's burden with a state of grace. I will offer kindness in the face of pain, leaving revenge in the shadows' domain. I embrace forgiveness so I will know the grace of blessing every friend and foe. First of all, I want to pray for the Teo community, for all of our family and friends and all of their loved ones, for our communities, for our nations. I want to pray for all those who are suffering from floods, from hurricanes and typhoons, from heat, from drought, from hunger, from thirst, refugees, the homeless, the children and the mothers, for all the people being abused and for their abusers, all the people being oppressed and for their oppressors, all the people that are thinking that violence is a solution to their problems, the violence somehow getting rid of the other will make them happy, that they'll be safe and secure. I want to offer prayers. I want to offer prayers. I want to pray that all beings, everywhere, be free from suffering, that they be safe and secure in their inner and outer beings from all harm and danger, that they be filled with peace and to be happy, and that they all dwell in the deep ease of well-being. And I want to thank all you who are listening to me, and all of you who listen to me later on video. I want to thank all of you. And I want to pray as I blow out this candle. I want to pray that our practice, this practice of being together and praying together, benefit all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you.